Alright, should be live. So I'm going to be testing on this stream whether vault cleaning is a good idea or not. I've got about an hour or so, and it's all I've got in me is to clean out my vault. I don't have the energy to play, so I'm going to be treating my loot like trash and bringing home some Glimmer and some enhancement cores and freeing up some space. So bear with me for a sec. I just got to set up the YouTube side. Okay, upload thumbnail. Yep, Destiny 2 2017. That's the right game. Many of you have already taken Destiny 2 out to the trash. Okay, I just saved this thumbnail, so check it out. I'm gonna check it out anyways, because I'm probably talking to myself right now. So. And I do need to test the stream. Okay, testing. Okay, is this working or not? It seems to be. Okay. Alright, so since I'm just going to be cleaning out my vault, if any of you aren't interested in that kind of thing, and you are interested in exploring other games, or if you do play Fortnite Save the World, you should definitely go check out my wife, Kairos713. If you do feel like going over to Twitch, she's not on YouTube, at least not right now. I'm going to post her stuff here in chat. Because if you didn't know, Fortnite Save the World is a looter shooter like Destiny, the original Fortnite before Battle Royale and PvP was the predominant thing.
Check out Fortnite STW Master.
Okay. Yeah, so she's vibing right now with some of the Save the World community over on Fortnite, so that's pretty cool. She's an endgame player like I am on Destiny, but on Fortnite. And she's pretty good at BR too. Actually, she's like a top tier player. She plays with my son, who also streams on Twitch, but he's been studying for exams, which is why I've been streaming more myself. So he'll be done his exams this week in time for Heresy to come out and in time for me to just kind of dive back into the game and figure out Heresy and then start posting more videos. So I'll probably only be regularly live streaming for the next week or so. And then, but in all honesty, these last few live streams have gone surprisingly well for me. Like as far as viewership and people commenting, which is great because I mean, like, you know, that's kind of the whole point of it. So that's been a good learning curve for me, and pretty cool to experience outside of just like making videos and putting them on YouTube. So anyways, I'm just chilling. I'm gonna clean out my vault because I don't feel like playing right now. I've only got like an hour or so before I have to go to bed, and I'm too beat to try and attempt any kind of solo flawless puppeteer right now. But that will probably be coming tomorrow, depending how I feel. We'll see if I can get the solo done, if not the solo flawless. But yeah, so I'm just gonna head into dim because like my vault space is completely maxed out. And so I tend to let it get like this, and then I just kind of speed clean it on dim. So I think within the hour I should have like a good 50 slots cleaned out at least. All my characters right now have like my best weapons. So Titan has all of my best seasonal stasis and arc weapons, and I'm trying to avoid sneezing. Yeah, Warlock has all my best kinetic and solar weapons, and Hunter has all my void and strand weapons, my best ones, right? So obviously there's still a lot of stuff in the vault, and I'm gonna have to clear some space on Titan because I think I'm just gonna go into dim and start comparing here. So it's not a whole lot to see. Maybe I'll head over to the tower and emote at people, or have people emote at me near Raul. For some, you know, intense Destiny 2 gameplay. But if that doesn't suit you, feel free to close your phone. If you got YouTube Premium, you can just listen. Yeah, stick an earbud in, do whatever you want. Maybe you're going to be watching this post stream anyways. But yeah, so I gotta open up dim on my computer, and because I'm streaming this on PS5, you're not gonna see my dim window, so I'll do my best to describe it as I go along. Just need to turn that on. Okay, so what I do when I'm on dim is I just go over to the organizer tab on the top section, and then I can see immediately that I have 503 weapons. 153 on Hunter, 155 on Titan. Oh, wait. It's kind of weird. Oh, because there's a few class-specific weapons, I guess. But anyways, I've got... because there's no way I'm carrying that many on each character. But I just, yeah, so organizer, and then I go down to weapons. It says I have 503. I click that, and now I can see how many weapons I have in each category. So in alphabetical order, I have 25 auto rifles. what the hell do I need 25 auto rifles for? So I'm going to sift through there, and I'm going to see what I can immediately trash, and then I will transport it over to Titan to take the trash out and exchange it for Glimmer and enhancement cores.
A transaction to make, Guardian?
And I might have to delete a few things pretty quick, because I'm at max. So first, okay, are there any infusion fodder? I really dislike the whole concept of infusion fodder, like upgrading every single item in your vault to a power level that doesn't even really matter in the game. It's just there as a barrier of entry. Okay, immediately, for some reason, I've got trash in here. But, I mean, that is the point of the stream. Envious chill clip, envious chill clip. This one's got better charge time and reload. Not that the reload really matters. So if I was to keep one, it'd be that one. For some reason, I don't have bittersweet on my character. Oh, because I have... Yeah, that's right. I have a shiny that's not a shiny. So I have no way of even discerning by looking through my vault that this shiny is special. Right? It just looks like any other weapon, which is why people are so mad about... Like, that would have made a huge difference with Onslaught Salvation. If they gave us shinies, I would have been heavily incentivized to farm the crap out of, like, a God Roll Bittersweet. I just happened to get this as one of my first weapons, and the only double perk weapon I've ever gotten on Salvation. The only one, and it's pretty much a double God Roll. It's got at least two good perk combinations. I mean, not great on the magazine, but... And the masterwork wasn't good either, right? So that's the unfortunate thing, is because this thing's not even shiny, then I'm just gonna use regular bittersweet anyways, because it looks exactly the same and it's better because I've got quick launch and spike grenades, right? So the shiny doesn't mean anything without the shininess. So should I delete it? That is the question. It does have explosive light. Do I really need explosive light on a arc heavy grenade launcher? That's the question. So I will figure that out, but right now I just need to make some quick space. Because I maxed out on the vault, maxed out on every single character. Oh my gosh, this one's infusion fodder too. See, this is the problem. The few pieces of non-masterwork stuff in here ends up being like 2010. I got a couple freebies here for not even partaking in the Dawning. I think I just talked to Eva once, and then like all of a sudden I was being showered with loot. I mean, Envious Bait and Switch is pretty good. It's not the Envious Arsenal combo. I think you can get that on this, right? But I mean, it's not a farmable weapon. Like, I have to wait an entire year anyways. So the question is, do I keep what I was gifted, or do I get rid of it and wait and just forget about that weapon entirely because I don't want to do the Dawning? Eesh. Okay, well here... Oh my gosh, look at the spikiness. 66 or 69 though, that's the thing. I'm gonna delete the spikiness because I'm sure that I have armor sets that'll pair with 69 to give me like very high stats overall. And I'll still be able to distribute it to like triple 100s because I got extremely spiky armor that's non-exotic anyways. Like sometimes overkill is too much. Then dim can't even like get you lower than like 110 or 120 resilience or discipline, right? So you're stuck with wasted stats anyways. I don't have any duplicates here. No duplicates on the class item. It's obviously a joke as I look at it at first glance, but I do need to check blue engram. Engram.blue / catch 'em all / class item. You can go there and it'll tell you if you have any duplicate Ergo Sums or exotic class items. So I have duplicate two dupes on Titan, one on Hunter, and that's it. And then you could even copy the link, copy dim query, and then you can transfer that over to dim. So also when I clean up my vault, I have two dim windows open at the same time. One so I can keep my organization, my organizer tab open, so I know where I'm at when I start going through like auto rifles, then bows, etc., like in alphabetical order, basically. And then I have another dim open so that I can do like swap weapons around or just look up other stuff. Or in this case, I'm going to copy the blue engram duplicate URL, copy dim query. That's what it's called. And actually it works better if you just go to organizer, like on your second window, and then type it in there to come up faster. Okay, transfer that to Titan. I'm just gonna do armor real quick, and then I'll get into weapons because I need to make space. So renewal coyote, I've got 2 of those apparently. Okay, what else do I have on blue engram? That's it for Hunter. Now the issue is it going to send me like a masterworked copy from its dim query, or is it going to send me the non-masterworked? Okay. That's garbage. Severance Armamentarium. Even the one that I do have remaining is probably garbage as well. I'm holding on to literally every single combination of exotic class item. I'm holding on to 1 copy of each because I do think Bungie will eventually add it to collections like our other exotics, or make it craftable so that it's, makes everything obsolete as far as vault space goes. If they don't do that, then I'm going to have to deal with 192 slots taken up in my vault just for exotic class items, which is annoying, but at the same point, when you have 600 or 700 vault space, like, do you really need 500 other things? I think, like, 500 is a lot. Like, you could probably make do. My goal is to always try and make do with, like, 300 or 400 other items. Like, top 300 weapons is plenty. Like that, I think you got yourself future-proofed. You can hold on to your nostalgic stuff. Okay, Assassin Armamentarium. I've also got that one, apparently. Paste. Okay. Bring that over to Titan. Okay. Alright, so Blue Engram Tracker says I am free of dupes. And me being free of dupes looks like this. Warlock. I have the least amount of Warlock bonds. I have the most amount of unique stoicisms, and I have close on Hunter. Actually, it says I have 52 out of 64 cloaks. I have 58 out of 64 marks for Titan. 39 out of 64 for Warlock. So when I do get every single combination, then yeah, this is going to take up, what, 4 pages? I think it's 50 slots per page or something like that. Or it must be more than that. 5. Yeah, I think it's 50 per page. So essentially, you're going to take up the back 4 pages. That's an issue, Bungie. Just saying, that's an issue. Yeah, just make it craftable if you can't put it in collections. I just don't understand how this has not been solved already. I really don't. Anyways. Okay, one last thing that I do want to check on Blue Engram is my dupes on Ergo Sums. I recently learned that it's pronounced Ergo Sum, even though I'm like inclined to call them Ergo Sums. Okay, and so I'm doing the same nonsense with the Ergo Sums. I think there's 60. There's like around 60 unique Ergo Sums. There's even more than that if you're like extremely specific about the guards. But if you don't care about the guards and you only care about the frames and the elements, right, and the archetypes, right? So if you only consider those 3 attributes of randomness to those weapons, you're going to have at least 60 unique items. So my Ergo Sums, right, that should be like pretty free of dupes. Let me see. Okay, I've got 2 solar waveframe wolfpack round Ergo Sums. I've got 1 with sword masters, so I'm going to keep that. And it's got jagged, and it's got, well, you want enduring as far as I know. Enduring and or jagged, because if you're not transcendent, I think jagged's better, but if you are transcendent, then enduring is better. At least that's my understanding. And Swordmaster's Guard is the best all-around guard. Okay, I'll just get rid of this one. So same thing goes on Blue Engram. You could literally just click on the one you want to get rid of, and it's going to copy. Okay, yeah, it says copied. I just clicked it like 10 times. Then you can paste that over into your dim search bar, and it should come up. Yep, there it is. Okay, bring that over to Titan. Okay, so this Ergo Sum is garbage. And the funny thing is, it took me forever to get solar Wolfpack rounds on a waveframe. Well, period. Like, I think I had a Vortex one in solar, but I definitely feel with the Wolfpack rounds, you got to have 1 of every element. And in waveframe, ideally. Caster would be good too. Okay, so I don't have any more dupes on Wolfpack rounds, according to Blue Engram. I'm still missing an Arc Vortex, a Solar Caster, and that's it. So I'm missing 2 out of 15, is it? Yeah, there's 15 unique Wolfpack round Ergo Sums. 15, right? I mean, that's like, so I mean, if you're doing testing and stuff, it really that's when it matters. But like, I'm not recommending that anybody try and collect that many Ergo Sums. Like, you're good with 1 or 2, or just have 1 of each element. right? So you can match it with your other swords or stack surges on 2 different weapons, right? So ideally wave frame. So you probably want like 3 wolf pack rounds, but I'm just gonna keep 1 of each because I don't know why, to be honest. I haven't tested it enough to really know to say whether or not I can just confidently get rid of stuff and then not regret it, because I decide one day to do a video about the different ergo sums, or sometimes the loadouts that I come up with for like boss builds videos where I'm like soloing dungeon bosses. I come up with like some pretty unique weapon combos, and I like to find the right tool for what I want to do. So it's nice to have that variety there, right? Just for the sake of making some content and having some fun, challenging myself to do something different. So that's just my personal preference there. Anyways, is there any other ergo sums? I'm not seeing any other dupes. Oh, okay. I have a perfect 5th caster frame dupe. I got 1 with sword masters, enduring, and jagged. So that's okay. That's automatically the keeper. The other one can go. So I'm gonna copy that over to the search bar on dim, and then it should come up. Perfect 5th. Carry that over to Titan. Right, because I'm not gonna go through here and look for it. Are you nuts?
Do you play with subscribers?
No, I don't. I actually just started streaming. I've streamed before, but I've streamed regularly like this past week. And I'm a solo player, and all the content that I do is pretty much solo, outside of LFGs. But I would definitely be open to playing with subscribers, like, or just even if people are hanging out in chat, and if like I decide to stream. For example, Master Vespers Host or something like that, where I know it's something that I'd be LFGing anyways. If I decide to do something like that on stream, then I would be open to just playing with people that are actually engaged with me in the comments or with the live stream. Yeah, I'd definitely be open to that. Okay, so I should be good on dupes. Again, I'm not. I have 2 waveframe unplanned reprieved swords. I never even used them. So I'm just going to keep the Swordmasters, Enduring, Jagged, and I'm going to get rid of the other one because it doesn't have the same perks. And Dim is not finding it because I double ID'd it. Okay, there it is. Take that over to Titan, please. Why isn't it coming up? Is it already on my Titan? No, that's Arc Conductor. I'm not getting rid of that. I don't know what Dim is doing right now. It's like frozen or something. This is the only downside to Dim. Like, why do I even have to use Dim? Like, we get 700 vault spaces. No way to organize it. 0. You can go newest, default, rarity, quantity, and if you look at like the number of pieces of information on each page, just scanning through your vault, like between perk, like there's like 5 different attributes on every weapon at least that you have to consider when you're scanning through there, deciding what you want to get rid of and what you want to keep. There should be like a very detailed filtering system, I think. Anyways, my dog wants to get in, so give me 1 sec. But yeah, anyways, it's ridiculous. So I have to use dim, but that's okay. Anyways, I'm just talking it through. I think it should be like the game should have it solved. in a good way though, because like I think like the LF going off on a tangent now, the Fire Team Finder as a spin-off of LFG that you use on the on your mobile phone or on your app. The in-game Fire Team Finder is worse than the phone app. So like I don't it's like they just took everything that they learned that was good about the phone app and they gave us a worse version in game. Which so it makes no sense. Like you can't even type in the name of the party that you want to start or whatever. Like there's no way to search for looking for checkpoint. You can create a post offering checkpoint, but you can't create a post looking for checkpoint, right? So people still need to use the app to LFG. So anyways, that's just going off on a tangent because I'm talking about having to use third-party resources to manage like the basics of the game, like being able to hold more loot, but I can't because my vault space is maxed out, and every character is maxed out. Fortunately, my postmaster has been managed. Okay, so that's it for Ergo Sums. I'm missing one insectoid robot grenade. I'm missing one out of the 5. I don't have caster yet. I have all unplanned reprieves. I have all stormbringers. I have all arc conductors. I have all perfect fifths. I have all sacred flames except for aggressive. Yeah. There's a lot of gathering lights. This one, as far as I don't have a single aggressive frame gathering light, and you can get void, solar, and arc in vortex, caster, wave sword, and lightweight. So that's like just like Wolfpack rounds. There's like 15 different options, but I don't know if I just have weird RNG where I've never gotten a single aggressive frame, but it is showing as an option under Blue Engram, right? Like it just doesn't show that I have anything there. So if you guys in comments know, or watching I should say, comments post live stream, if any of you have aggressive frame gathering lights, let me know. Okay, just gonna check my wife's stream real quick. Make sure she's all good since we're sharing the same internet and I basically manage that stuff. Okay. Yep. Alright, so Blue Engram is done. I have no more dupe class items, no more dupe Ergo Sums. Altogether, taking up nearly 200 vault space. Great. So that leaves me with 500 to work with on other crap. Okay, so now I'm just going to go into dim and I'm going to scan the auto rifle. I have 25 auto rifles, and then I'm just going to put them in alphabetical order and scroll through and see if I can see any like dupes or unmasterwork stuff right away and just be like, whoa, why is that there? Transfer it over, get rid of it now, kind of a thing. Once I do that through every section, then I'll go back and then maybe I'll decide to get rid of like some masterwork stuff. Or some stuff that I was like really wanting to masterwork but isn't yet. And then I might skim out even more stuff. Okay, so I have 2 Reckless Oracles. And I have it crafted. So why do I have Infusion Fodder? Of course. So I think I'm just going to move both of them to my Titan. And then just do the immediate infusion to make 1 vault space. How do you do that again? This thing. Alright, cool. I'm not too sure how I feel about crafting it with destabilizing repulsor brace though. I was thinking this would be like crazy in PvE. It is good. I've tested a little bit, but I always feel I have mixed feelings about the loss of a damage perk, right? So I find rolls like this are really, and destabilizing. Yeah, you could say it's a damage perk because it's, you know, it does AOE and splash damage and all that. But uh, but yeah, like if you just went like repulsor brace instead of what else does it roll with even? I think it rolls like one for all. So I mean, you're giving up the potential of like a 35% damage boost, right? Or even like if you had frenzy, I don't think you can get it on this thing, but that's 15%, right? So that's always like the sacrifice with going with a repulsor brace. So if auto rifles get buffed or they're in the meta, this will be really good, especially on like red bars in dungeons and raids, right? Not a GM weapon per se. Like if I was going GM, then I'd probably lean heavily into double damage perks if possible, depending on the situation. But anyways, that's my Reckless Oracle. So what else do I got that I can get rid of on dim? Scrolling through. Okay, Veiled Threat, well, it's crafted, so I already spent, like, how many cores does it cost just to craft a weapon at the Enclave? 35 cores? So, I mean, if you craft it, even if you don't masterwork it, you may as well save it if possible, because you're not going to get any enhancement cores for deleting it, whereas other weapons that aren't crafted, it's like a 50-50 shot at an enhancement core every time. Right, so that is the one thing that is really nice about vault cleaning is you're gonna get like 200 enhancement cores. You're gonna max out your glimmer, right? And if you're constantly enhancing weapons, you're eating up more glimmer than you can essentially farm, depending on what you're playing or not playing. So vault cleaning is not just a chore; it is a resource-rich undertaking. So that's the way to make it fun, I guess. Okay, so I need to just... Okay, so here's one thing, right? Because I'm looking at all my weapons on dim in the auto rifle section. I have 24, but it's showing me legendaries and exotics. So I need to get all of the exotics out of my filter here because I know I'm not deleting any exotics, right? Like I don't have duplicate exotics. So I'm just in the search bar here. You just put in is legendary, right? If you just start typing legendary, it'll come up as an option, is legendary. There. Now there's no more exotics showing, and now I only have 17 auto rifles, right? And before I told you I had over 500 weapons total. Now I have 367 weapons. So that's all legendary weapons. And that means, like before I was saying, I like to keep a number of around 300 legendary weapons. So I know that, like, if this is a successful vault cleaning, I should be able to get rid of like a good 60 weapons or 70 weapons or so. But yeah, there's also exotics. But if you do a lot of GMs, then like you're going to be spending more time deleting exotic armor duplicates because you're just getting showered with exotic after exotic. Anyways, so I got 17 auto rifles that are legendary. Every single one of them is masterworked. Oh, except for this one Chroma Rush. Okay, so I have an enhanced Chroma Rush with Killing Wind and Kinetic Tremors. And I'm like, wow, 50 mobility. Like, it sounds so good in theory, but I don't play PvP. Even though I do get, like, I do like the heavy handling and the good mobility, that kind of stuff that you get from Killing Wind and other perks. I do like that in PvE. So it's just I haven't even used the weapon. And I've got one with Subsistence and Kinetic Tremors that isn't enhanced or masterworked. But I know for a fact that... can I even look at this in the vault? just in case you're a visual person and need to see the weapon. Especially not being able to see dim. I'm doing my best to describe what I'm going through. So Chroma Rush here, right? So I originally I knew I was farming for subsistence and kinetic tremors, ideally, right? But I wasn't getting it, and I had this killing wind, and because this is a 720 rapid fire, 720 rapid fires are pretty good for ad clear on like normal difficulty dungeon and raid red bars and even orange bars like Rufus's Fury, Crate, the last auto rifle I was just talking about, the one that I crafted from Garden of Salvation, the Void one, that's a 720 as well, right? So if you're going to use an auto rifle for ad clear, it's going to be that type of frame typically. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because kinetic tremors on a kinetic weapon is also very endgame viable for champs, right? So you can go two ways with this Chroma Rush, right? You can
a subsistence kinetic tremors and a frenzy roll.
You can't go wrong with frenzy, that's for sure. Frenzy is one of my favorite perks on primaries. But kinetic tremors is like it's just kind of another beast, really. I have on battle, what is it, battle scar or battle? What's the name of that pulse rifle from Onslaught from Into the Light? Do I have it on? Or do I have it in my vault, I should say?
I kept Frenzy for lower content and Tremors for harder enemies.
Blast Furnace, that's the one.
Blast Furnace.
Yes, thank you. And I just read it right as your comment popped up too. I just went to the pulse rifle section on dim, and it's right at the top there. So I've actually got, well, I may as well just bring it over so I'm not like... I said I was only going to be on for like an hour or so, max. So I'm probably not going to have time to clean my entire vault, especially if I start talking about god rolls, because that's just another rabbit hole. I mean, you can talk about a god roll on a weapon for that amount of time almost, or I can. That's a me problem, not a you problem.
I kept Frenzy Kinetic Tremors Blast Furnace.
Check it out. That's my baby. That's the only shiny I have from Into the Light that it's like absolutely perfect for me. And I've used it because the season, like the next season when Final Shape dropped, we had Pulse Rifle as what, barrier? And this thing was just destroying barriers along with Outbreak. Like it was basically better than Outbreak Perfected because then you still had an exotic slot. Especially in GMs, this thing just melts. Like Kinetic Tremors by itself already counters champions, especially barriers, very well. Because barrier will put his shield up, but if the Kinetic Tremors are already procced, it's just going to bust his shield open anyways. Like even if you're stuck reloading the weapon, which is like the main thing that you got to deal with when you're shooting champs and GMs is, you know, managing your reload. If you have a reload. Because if you're caught off rhythm, then you're going to struggle with champs. But yeah, Kinetic Tremors solves that issue in a lot of ways, which can be a good thing and a bad thing, but it's definitely mostly a good thing. And then Frenzy, 15% damage, max reload speed, max handling. If you like the feel of first-person shooters, you will like the feel of Frenzy. I'm sure everybody can agree with that. It doesn't do anything fancy, it just feels fancy. Whereas Kinetic Tremors is kind of like fireworks. Yeah, so I'm going to hold on to the non-Masterwork subsistence on Chroma Rush, right? So I got off tangent with Chroma Rush there, but yeah, because I have two Chroma Rushes. One is already Masterworked with Killing Wind Kinetic Tremors. The other one has Subsistence and Kinetic Tremors, and I might end up I might end doing something with Subsistence Kinetic Tremors, right? If I really decide to use it for Ad Clear. But Killing Wind is also very good for Ad Clear. So here's the thing. I'll probably keep the Killing Wind version when I'm playing on my Hunter, because you can't go wrong with 50 mobility. I believe it's 50 mobility, right? So, I mean, that's really good in PvE on a Hunter specifically, right? Other classes, you could say it's useless. But even then, you're still getting 40 handling. So it's going to feel like Frenzy. It's essentially Frenzy without the damage perk. Whereas Subsistence just reloads the magazine every now and then, right? But Killing Wind, well, it doesn't give you reload speed. So there is that. I guess you wouldn't have the snappy Frenzy-like reload, right? So I take that back. Yeah, Dim says that it's Killing Wind gives you 50 mobility, 40 handling, 20 range. 5% increased damage, fall off distance. That would be more something that you would pay attention to in PvE or PvP. Additional kills extend the duration by 5 seconds. Okay, so it's kind of like a very knockoff version of Frenzy, right? So Subsistent, I don't know. Like, yeah, you can definitely make the argument either way. Hunter, I'm going Killing Wind. Other classes, I'm probably going to Masterwork. Masterwork this one. Okay, so that's it for auto rifles. That was the only dupe to talk about. I'm still holding on to this 7th Seraph carbine or carbine with reconstruction and target lock, because the gun reminds me the most of Call of Duty, which is a longtime favorite game of mine, and it sounds good, it looks good. It's just a wicked freaking looking gun. And when it came out with Spire the Watcher, for me, because it wasn't playing Destiny 2 pre-Witch Queen, so this was my first 7th Seraph carbine, and it had reconstruction target lock, and that was when target lock first came out, so it was like OP, right? So it was very good on champs whenever auto rifles were in the artifact for like a good 2 to 3 seasons. It just got, as soon as kinetic tremors landed on weapons, then, like it's pure, I guess you would say, copium, right? For me to hold on to this. So, do I get rid of it? Look at that, I got 33 kills on it. Yeah, this, oof. It has the Seraph rounds and everything, right? And stability. It shoots like an absolute laser. And they just buffed target lock again, didn't they? Right, so I almost deleted that, but I'm going to keep, according to Dim, I'm going to keep 17 auto rifles. Yep. Everyone is masterwork but one. Hand cannons, I've got 18. Please tell me I have some dupes I can get rid of. I got some nice shinies in here. I do have this one other shiny, so I was just talking about my shiny Blast Furnace being like my one prized possession from Into the Light. But I do have this Lunas Howl. This is an extremely inefficient way to go about cleaning your vault, by the way, if you start talking about every roll. Well, okay, so this is a nice shiny. This was like one of the first good ones that I got with Incandescent. Extremely good on Warlock with Ember of Empyrean, right? You just throw that Restoration ×2 healing grenade down, right? Or if you're a Heat Rises player, I guess you would consume and then jump and then dive and then snap, right? I can't remember. There's a few ways to get Restoration ×2 on Warlock, right? So run that with Ember of Empyrean, and then there's absolutely no need for heal clip. It's just redundant and unnecessary, because you're especially if you're solo anyways, right? Because you got nobody to heal around you. You have Resto ×2 all the time, right? Because you never have to reload the mag. With extended mag, Subsistence, Incandescent, shoot this thing at red bars, at the weakest enemies. You will never have to reload, and you're going to keep Restoration ×2 procced the entire time, right? Amazing for stuff like the original Onslaught, and the newest one too, of course, with Salvation. But the thing is, hand cannons aren't in the artifact, and solar isn't in the artifact. And the season after, we got rocket sidearms. But yeah, that's a pretty nice one there. But I've got a 5 out of 5 non-shiny heel clip incandescent, and that is basically the best roll. I guess you would say universally speaking, right? Whereas the shiny one is specific to Warlock or an Ember of Empyrean build. So you could even, I mean, you could do it on anything, but it's just that Warlock's going to easily benefit from Restoration times 2, whereas the other classes are going to be, pretty much stuck on Resto times 1. Right, so this is the option for Titan and Hunter builds that aren't, Solar Warlock. Super good. I've got a reload masterwork on this, and light mag, and fluted, so it feels very good, kind of like that frenzy feel I was talking about. Super snappy reload, which is exactly what you need for heel clip. So I'm not getting rid of either of those Lunas Howls, and then I've also got another one for Hunter, but this one was let's see. I kept this roll when Hunter had when Lucky Pants worked, because they changed the way Lucky Pants works now, right? So previous to the rework to Lucky Pants, you needed a weapon that matched the element of your subclass in order to get the damage buff and to get it working with Lucky Pants, right? If it wasn't a kinetic weapon will work on any subclass, I believe. That's how it worked. And if you decide to use like a solar weapon on Arc Strider, you're not going to get Lucky Pants going. It's only going to work on Gunslinger. So this was very specific to like a Gunslinger build with Lucky Pants. And then they reworked Lucky Pants, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, not that this is insane or anything, but it's just all around it's very good. It's probably good in PvP for all I know. But I got it mainly for melting champs and GMs, right? Because it's not like you're going to use it on bosses. If you're going to use Lucky Pants on a boss, you're going to use Malfeasance or Warden's Law, right? But if you're in a GM and if you're just looking at champs, you can get away with using other hand cannons for sure, and this has the perks that synergize with Lucky Pants pretty well. So I don't really want to get rid of that one either, so I've got 3 hand cannons. Then I got the Mahis, I got the Midnight Coups, I got the one with explosive payload and kinetic tremors, and I've got another one with Firefly and Frenzy. So I don't even have the only non-masterworked out of... Oh, wait a second, I got some Iron Banner stuff, and I've got one from Garden of Salvation. And I was thinking that I was going to be holding on to these Garden of Salvation weapons so that I can use Deep Sight Harmonizers on them, right? Because I don't want to sit there and farm Garden of Salvation personally. So I was going to, what else are you going to do with Deep Sight Harmonizers now? Nothing else is craftable, right? But the kicker, right? This is how Bungie gets you. How do you even apply the Deep Sight Harmonizer? Right here. 15 Spoils of Conquest. That's like buying a weapon from the spoils table. Whereas you can just get anywhere from 3 to 5 weapons in a single run, if not more if you're doing challenges. But if you're just in an LFG run doing the raid, you're going to get probably 3 weapons for free. Right? And in the entire raid, you might be lucky to get 15 spoils. So that's a heavy cost for somebody that doesn't farm raids constantly to be using Deep Sight Harmonizers. Because if you use 5, I think, how many do you have access to in a season? 5, 7, 8? I'm not sure, but if you you can spend over 100 spoils using these things. So look at my spoils. I have 11 out of 15, and I even got so desperate on spoils, I went just to craft a few of these garden weapons. I went back to farming the first secret chest in Vow of the Disciple, because you could do it solo. in like a minute, and you can just do it on every character. And that's like 15 spoils at least, something like that, right? I hadn't had to do that in like a year and a half or two. Like I never even thought about it because we actually had raids that were like LFG friendly, that were enjoyable, like Crota, even King's Fall. What else? What other raids did we get? Root of Nightmares was super LFG friendly, right? You can no mic the entire raid. You just have like one guy that knows what they're doing. They're gonna solo the raid, or two people, right? If you're lucky and you get in a good fire team, you can successfully essentially no mic the entire raid, right? So very casual. So when that was hot, like spoils was no problem. And then Crota came out, and Crota was freaking awesome. Crota's my favorite raid. Not that it was super LFG friendly, but it was just I loved it so much that I ended up just naturally, maxing out my spoils constantly. Whereas now there's nothing for me to really enjoy. I do enjoy the first 3 encounters of Salvation's Edge a lot, but when it gets to Verity, there's just a break in the immersion of the raid to me, the way it feels. And then to be completely honest, I'm too old and washed to sit there and fight the Witness. Yeah. That's the Witness is a reality check for me. Not having like the snappy reaction time of like, me when I was half my age, when I was like 20. That's a lot for me. I try to keep up though. Like if you've been watching my streams soloing the Puppeteer, like I can still pull off some average to even slightly above average gameplay at times. But for some reason, the Witness is my bane in this game. And the fact that I would have to go through Verity just to get there, forget it. I did tough it out though. Like last season, to maintain Paragon, I had to go and do Master Witness of all things. Master the entire raid, no problem. Even Verity, no problem. Absolute Nightmare on LFG, 100%. But anyways. So without being too negative, the first 3 encounters of Salvation's Edge, I could do those every week. I could even do it like multiple times beyond 3 runs on each character if that was the length of the raid. The first 3 encounters. There's not even I think it's because Herald is so friggin' cool. Great boss fight, great mechanics. It's intense. It's like adrenaline filled. It's got just the right amount of challenge for like an LFG group, even I think, to successfully pull it off. Mainly because of the timer. So that for me is like a pinnacle level boss fight, right? And then the third encounter is just it flows super well. Like the tormentors, the pinging the energy back and forth, and then you're on a timer there again, and then you get the subjugators. Like it's just a really good encounter. But I did hear that they like Verity was like an addition to kind of an already finished product, and Bungie didn't want to release it unfinished, I guess, right? Which was part of the delay of the final shape, and so they decided to put in Verity into the raid since they're taking so much time on the final shape, right? That's why it looks different, feels different, and then and so by the time I get to Witness, I'm already kind of exhausted. I've already had my peak level of fun, and I'm just not interested in dodging the Witness's attacks unless I can sit there and actually do the encounter like over and over and over again. But that's not practical in an LFG either, necessarily. Because finding like farming groups for Salvation's Edge, not really. That was short-lived. Let's just say, like I doubt you can find any like master challenge farms on LFG right now. Anyways, I was organizing my vault and throwing crap out, and I guess what stemmed that conversation is conversation with myself is because I got this damn ancient gospel that wants me to spend 15 spoils of conquest just to use a deep sight harmonizer. Bungie, you got to give us some enjoyable raids that are accessible, where you can customize your fireteam finder name on LFG so that people can actually get together on LFG easier on Fireteam Finder, right? Because I'm not going to be, I'm not farming no spoils to put deep sight harmonizers on these things. I'll go without a single ancient gospel until they just drop naturally for me. Criminal's Dagger. I mean, why would you, is it a 120? Okay, so this is the one time I played PvP in the last like 2 years was this past, not this Iron Banner, the one before. I prestiged 4 times. I basically Iron Lord. Like if I wanted to, I can get Iron Lord right now. I just got to do the challenges, but I had already done the challenges on the previous event, and then I found out that now you can't do the challenges. Right? It didn't retroactively count the challenges to my Iron Lord title. So basically Bungie like stiffed me out of my accomplishments. So like in order for me to get Iron Lord now, I have to go and grind Iron Banner.
Precision instrument.
Slideways, yeah, Enlightened Action's not really it, is it? And even on Lucky Pants, like would I ever use a 120 on Lucky Pants? Like what's the current Lucky Pants now? I was talking about Lucky Pants. It's been changed. So would a weapon like this have any kind of like advantage to using something like Warden's Law with Vorpal and Fourth Times or Enlightened Action and Frenzy? It's a totally different weapon, right? It's a 120, but it is a Hake. So what is that? That's Vorpal for constructs and vehicles. It's 15%.
Precision instrument roll, then I'd keep it.
Okay. I appreciate that, Jay Dizzle. Thank you. Because I was planning on just if the rolls were good for Iron Banner, the ones that I got, I was gonna keep them. Like I wasn't gonna treat them like trash. I've treated other PvP weapons like they were trash to me because I disagreed with the way that Bungie was handling PvP. So I just refused to use those weapons and do what Bungie wants me to do, which is to grind a game that they're not updating. If they update the game and it's good, I will grind out those weapons, and then I'll take pride in having them. But yeah, so I did grind it. Like I said, I prestiged Iron Banner 4 times, and so and I even made an effort to get better at PvP in Destiny. Even though like I'd rather play PvP in other games like BRs, and I come from a background of playing like competitive search and destroy and Call of Duty from 2003 to 2005 as like a 19-year-old gamer on mouse and keyboard. Like I was actually pretty good in PvP back then. Like I wanted to be pro, but I had other priorities in life. So, but now I'm older, obviously. I'm in my 40s, and I've got a disability with my hands. I've got hand-arm vibration syndrome and arthritis and stuff like that. So it's like you have limited game time that you can actually enjoy every day before your hands give out, right? So I could do like a couple hours sometimes in a day. Sometimes I can't do any. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to be super snappy, especially on just on a standard stock controller on console. Like it's a different experience. So it's hard for me to enjoy PvP is basically what I'm saying. On top of Bungie not updating the game. Whereas like Fortnite, like my family plays Fortnite, I can go over and play with them. Like my 17-year-old son, who's like a 17 KD or something ridiculous. He's in the top like 1,000 or 2,000 in the world in Unreal ranked. And he'll get Unreal in every single game mode. Zero builds, Battle Royale. This season it's OG, and Reload is a thing now too. So he's killing it at that, and he's running into other streamers all the time. Super cool. But yeah, I don't even remember where I was going with that. Right, so if I'm gonna play PvP, I'm gonna go like either hop on my son's stream or play with him or play with my wife, because my wife plays Battle Royale. And she plays Save the World, which is why I linked her in the comments. Guys, feel free to... she's not live anymore. Her stream did end, but if you do if you are somebody that goes on Twitch regularly and you are looking for other looter shooter games, or if you know about Save the World, if you want free V-Bucks, if you want to learn how to play the game from start to finish, she's doing like a new account playthrough, even though she's max level endgame Fortnite Save the World like me on Destiny. Yeah, she does that, and she's super engaging, very friendly. But yeah, if you just give her a follow, and then she's gonna check out her live stream. But yeah, so I'll play with her, and I'll play with my son if I'm gonna play PvP typically. So I get my PvE fix from Destiny. I love the dungeons, the raids, the nightfalls. A lot of the GMs, as long as they're not too repetitive and we're not getting the exact same thing every season, and it's the only thing you could do for a week, then I love Nightfalls. But if it's not one that I particularly enjoy and I'm forced to do that for a week straight, I back out. Unless there's like a really alluring god roll or something like that to farm. But ideally, the good weapon is tied to the good Nightfall. So like this season, highlight of Revenant for me was Lightblade. Where's the damn rake angle? There it is. Yeah, so this is one of the rake angles I got, and I posted a video. I farmed so many adept rake angles. I had like a vault page and a half full, right? So I posted like a thumbnail of the 50 that I had on the front page of my vault. And the only reason I did that was because it was a new weapon, right? So speaking about how we can make Nightfalls that much more enjoyable or better, if you give us a good Nightfall and you give us a good weapon and you give us a new weapon, people are going to play the crap out of it, or at least I did, right? So Lightblade is like my favorite GM. We get this brand new glaive, the first of its kind, the first of its slot, right? So you can actually run triple glaives now if you want to do that. Stasis with Chill Clip, one of the best perks in the game. So what are you going to do, right? So fortunately, they gave us a good Nightfall, like one that is widely celebrated by the community as being a good Nightfall that is challenging, and part of like one of the best, if not the best, expansion pack that Destiny had seen in a long time. I guess only comparable to Forsaken from what I hear. I haven't played like the original Forsaken campaign, so I can't say. I hopped on the bandwagon when Witch Queen came out, and it was, not only was Destiny free to play now, right? Because I had invested a lot in Destiny previously, like Destiny 1, and I even tried out Destiny 2, but I felt like as being like a non-raider, I wasn't getting the value out of the game that I needed or wanted. Like, it wasn't very valuable to me. Just like having like 2 missions and like a few extra patrols that you can do and like maybe one Nightfall, right? Whereas if you're a raider, you'd be getting a lot of value out of the game. But for me, I was like, at that point, I was like a young adult with little kids, so I didn't have time to raid, right? I just wanted to play as a casual gamer back then. But ironically, now I have the time to raid. But yeah, so that for me makes Rake Angle pretty valuable because it comes from my favorite Nightfall, which is part of Witch Queen, which is when I started playing. So I have like nostalgia tied into that Nightfall itself, right? So that's how loot can be better, is if they give us good loot for good activities that we enjoy as a community. Okay, so back to cleaning out my vault. Let's see if I could even make it through to weapons categories, right? So I did auto rifle. Now I'm on hand cannons. I've got Word of Crota Adept. This is the only non-masterworked thing I got. Again, I have the 7th Seraph, right? So I could, you know what? I'm just going to bring over the weapons and talk about them a bit before I end stream. Instead of like trying to focus on hardcore cleaning out my entire vault in one stream, right? Or at least that's what I'm shifting to now. So I'll move this one over. Hand cannons. Again, enlightened action, precision instrument. So sorry, I lost track of chat because I'm looking on dim because I'm a complete noob streamer apparently. But yeah, Jay Dizzle, thank you for the suggestion on subsistence kinetic tremors. Yeah, and you were saying that about keep the precision instrument on the Colonel's dagger, right? So I'm doing that. Did I lock it? Yeah, I did. Okay, so I'll stow that. Exuvier. Do I not have a masterworked Exuvier with? Again, though, this is a 120. Like I'm not gonna use it in PvE unless I'm just doing patrols, or if I'm just doing like overthrow. But even overthrow on the Pale Heart, there's like too many enemies to manage like the slowness of this thing. With having to reload it, like unless you're on Marksman's Dodge on Hunter, right? So that's speaking about slow reloads. Exuvier and like the Archon's Thunder. What's the other slow reload? Well, any machine guns that you would have to manually reload, those can all be good on Hunter with Marksman's Dodge, right? So I can't just immediately delete something because I know it's not going to be good on my Titan or on my Warlock, right? So because Exuvier could be good on Hunter. Any slow lethargic weapon can be good on Hunter. And Rhyme Stealer, well, I guess technically Rhyme Stealer is getting buffed, right? Because they're increasing the frost armor stacks from 4.5% up to what, 6.25, something like that. They're gonna make it so that you can get 50 damage resistance, right? Adding up the stacks. And max stacks is 8, I think. So I guess 8 times 6.25 equals 50. I'm not calculating it, but it's something like that. So if you enhance Rhyme Stealer, then you get 2 stacks of frost armor instead of 1 for shattering a stasis crystal or destroying a frozen target. So I mean, like, yeah, or you can just send out right. So if I'm on Titan currently, which could change, you send out a consecration wave or like a waveframe GL into a stasis crystal grenade. Like shooting stasis crystals and glacial grenades with a primary weapon is largely inefficient in endgame PvE. You mainly want to be using like a special weapon. Like the waveframes are nuts. Like one shot from a waveframe GL just blows up the crystal like immediately. All 5 segments of it. So when we get imagine a Rhyme Stealer waveframe GL, right, on like special, then we're talking. So realistically, I'm not going to use this weapon. Is basically what I'm saying. Do I delete though? I'm not going to delete yet, but it is first on the chopping block if I do need to. So going back to dim, that is it for hand cannons. I'm keeping 17, I guess, total. So pulse rifles, I have 17 legendary pulse rifles. I showed off my shiny blast furnace, which is probably my favorite one. I've also got Chattering Bone. What's the point? I guess it's the lightweight frame, but Chattering Bone and blast furnace do well, we both have kinetic tremors. It's just blast furnace has a double dam. Well, actually, they both. Actually, okay, I'll do a comparison. So blast furnace, it's already on my Hunter or my Titan. Chattering Bone, 2 kinetic pulse rifles with kinetic tremors and double damage perks. Which one's better? Why would you want to keep one or delete one, or should you keep them both? Well, not just because blast furnace is shiny and has alternate options for me, but for GMs, aggressive, I'm going aggressive over lightweight frame any day, all day, personally. Unless it's like a CQC type of Nightfall where everything is like close quarters, and pulse rifle is for you declined. What do you mean you declined? Like it wouldn't let you? Or you're refusing to become a member? How dare you? That is my beautiful wife in chat, by the way, that I was talking about. Cairo713.
No, it offered
Oh, that's totally rude. It offered it to you and then you declined it. I see. I thought you were desperately trying to become my member and then I declined you, but it's the other way around. That's messed up. That's seriously messed up. Where was I at? Chattering Bone and Blast Furnace. Kill Clip, Kinetic Tremors. Okay, so the lightweight frame, like, right, so I'd use, like, I think if we're talking overloads, because they're so, like, all over the place and in your face, I would prefer Chattering Bone with Kinetic Tremors. But Kill Clip is so awkward, like, I'd have to be ad clearing with it constantly and shooting champions at the same time to make use of the double damage perk, right? Because Kill Clip is 20%, so it's not bad at all. But Lightweight gives you 20 mobility on Hunter, so again, this is, like, more suited to Hunter, but it's marginal. It's not like crazy or anything, but it just doesn't have the range or stability or recoil control that Blast Furnace does. Like any range GM, this aggressive burst pulse rifle is king. It's absolutely king. But I'm gonna keep both anyways, right? For some reason my pulse rifles aren't showing at all now. Oh, because I'm on the wrong tab. What else do I have for pulse rifles? Right, so Dim says I have 17 legendary pulse rifles. I already talked about the double kinetic ones with kinetic tremors. BRX Battler, may as well hold on to that. I guess I can compare Void pulse rifle. Well, we only have 2 Void pulse rifles. Elsie's rifle, I have a masterworked, I guess it's non-shiny. I thought I had a shiny Elsie. I hear that's really good in PvP. Maybe you guys could tell me. Is it like Headseeker and something? I don't have that role because I'm a PvP noob. So I'm completely ignorant to what's good in PvP outside of like ones that I've heard other PvE players talk about, like Kill Clip and Perpetual Motion, right? So that's probably...
Garden Pulse is insane.
The new Garden Pulse is insane? What kind of frame is that? I don't even have that. I deleted them. I deleted them like a complete snob. Like I just deleted that Ancient Gospel. Now I'm regretting it because I can't even look at it. I guess I can go on Light GG. Garden of, I guess I'll just look up Garden or Prohibition. Photo Inhibition. I'll look that up. Photo Inhibition. Well, that immediately tells me that even in PvE, that pulse rifle should have something going for it because... Oh, that's right. Does it do that in PvP too? Sacred Providence? Aggressive Burst. So it's the same frame as Blast Furnace. So the question really is, I mean, Photo Inhibition is nice. So it essentially has like anti-barrier built in, like anti-barrier light. Actually, I'll just read photo Inhibition out. Do I have one of those weapons on me? I could just read it off Reckless Oracle here. This weapon deals bonus damage to combatant shields and targets with overshields. Breaking a combatant shield disorients them. Breaking an energy match shield also disorients nearby combatants. Okay. So there's a disorient effect, and there's essentially a blind effect, or an AoE version of it. Breaking a combatant's shield would imply Guardians, I guess, and Crucible, right? So yeah, I mean, if you're a PvP person, I mean, yeah, I'd listen to chat for sure. You guys are the experts. I am nothing close to an expert at PvP. But Photo Inhibition, speaking on a PvE PvE side, looking at my pulse rifles, combatants are PvE only. Oh, that's too bad. So basically, the origin trait does nothing in PvP. I'd be so pissed off as a PvP player for that as well. Like if all the weapons in the game, the best weapons, like don't do anything in PvP, but they do stuff in PvE, I'd feel pretty slighted. Sorry, I didn't time the cracking of my knuckles like for that sentence to end there specifically, but it just worked out like that. Okay, pulse rifles, photo inhibition. So note to self: need to get.
Unrelated to your stuff, lol. I'm at 2.9 average. Could hit my milestone next stream.
Oh, that's awesome!
Sparkles.
Congratulations.
Now.
That's awesome, especially for a Wednesday too, because you don't like normally you're really getting a lot of people on the weekends. So for it being the middle of the week, that's pretty good to still be going up. That's great news. Very happy for you. So where I was talking about Sacred Provenance. That's right. Yeah, thanks for the info, J Dizzle and ZZZ. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, so what's the role I'm going to be keeping of Sacred Provenance when I do get it? Not that this helps me clean my vault right now, because I'm talking about speculative loot that I don't even have. It's the opposite. This is the problem right now that I'm going to be highlighting as I talk about this, is why we have vault issues, right? Because I'm already talking about stuff I don't have, things that are in the future, things that don't exist. That's why there's never going to be enough vault space. There's literally no fix for it in its current form, just by increasing the number of vault space. I don't think that's going to work. Need that meme with like there's like a meme of a soldier carrying its backpack, and the backpack is the size of its, like twice the size of its body. And then me it says me carrying my gamer loot. No, I didn't. You could do that for me. But yeah, my wife did had a very good suggestion there. So to get more people to interact, or sorry, not to interact, just to straight up give me, I guess, 69 cents for being a member, right? If you enjoy my content and you want to see me make more content, then I'm definitely motivated by you guys, like by the membership stuff. So it's going to be 69 cents. It's like, that's practically free. I'll give it a thumbs up. Yeah, and then eventually, like if I ever became some like crazy YouTuber with 1 million subs, I would charge $6.99 for a membership instead. I might have to up it a little bit, because it'd be really hard to pay for like 40 classical cars, or however many you need when you're that kind of famous. It's at least 40, isn't it?
Rip off.
Is anybody from Bungie listening at least? Okay, so what was I even talking about? I know I was talking about pulse rifles. I know I was talking about photo inhibition.
Vault space and separate from armor, and give 1,000 for weapons with more organization methods.
I think weapons should have their own vault space, and separate from armor, and give 1,000 for weapons with more organization. Yes, I think more organization methods is key. Like I'd almost even prefer more organization methods and less vault space, like nerf vault space. Somehow integrate weapons together in a way Well, because like look at all the crap that Sunset. Like they basically just keep reskinning weapons. Like a lot of these models are the exact same models that we've been getting for years from Destiny 1. It's literally just reskins. So why don't, like, if we can already craft weapons, like crafting was essentially going in the direction of solving that problem with vault space. And like I said, I started playing when Witch Queen came out, so I'm actually kind of like, I'm probably more ignorant to actual RNG in the game than I am to weapon crafting, because ever since I've been playing this game, I've farmed for and acquired every single pattern in the game. Like if I'm a min-maxer at anything in this game, it's weapon patterns. I could even, where is that? Patterns and catalysts right here. Okay, so auto rifles, I got them all. Bows, I have them all. Hand cannons, I don't have Ancient Gospel, right? And I just deleted the one that I had in my vault that I could have put a deep sight harmonizer on, but I refused to because I have 11 spoils and there's no enjoyable raids to play and there's nobody on LFG. So I'm not going to be spending no 15 spoils just to use harmonizers. I'll wait till the raid is like farmable until people are playing the game, and I'll just get them naturally. Yeah, so there's no such thing as 100% min-maxer, right? It's more like 99%. So same for Sacred Provenance. I'm on my way there. I think I have every other garden weapon though, and I wasted deep sight harmonizers on them. That's why I'm so like against wasting more spoils, essentially, because I could have bought, there's like 2 or 3 weapons that I still need from the Monument of Lost Lights. Wait, actually I think no, because I have Anarchy, I have Legend of Acris, I have the Sparrow, I can't remember. So Prophet of Doom, I'm still on my way there. So literally the only weapons that I have left to acquire are 3 Garden of Salvation weapons for a total of maybe 7 or 8 patterns. Catalysts, on the other hand, let's not look at that. But yeah, so I'm like I've always been hardcore about getting all the patterns. And I do think that they could improve the crafting system a lot. Like, we shouldn't have, like, why can we masterwork weapons from space, from our vault, and put enhanced perks on them, but we have to go to the Enclave to do crafted weapons, where it's essentially the same thing, and it's the original form of crafting. Like, it's all just kind of, like, muddled together now, crafting and weapon enhancing. But the vault space is just too much of an issue for me in this game. I mean, it's not too much because I have... it's too much of an issue for most people in this game. I think it turns them off completely, having that much stuff.
They should have gave Taraga Incandescent. People would definitely save spoils to get.
Yeah, so that's the last one I bought. I haven't seen a point for it. Yeah, well, I need to learn how to use Terabub because I haven't had the opportunity. I literally just bought it. Like before Revenant or before Echoes.
The exotic class items.
Oh, did you even see my vault space on that? Yeah, that's what I was talking about at beginning of stream. I will get back to the pulse rifles before I end stream, but just to go over and show you, I can afford to go on a couple more tangents there. I just want to be off by about 1 in the morning. It's already getting pretty late here. I got responsibilities in the morning. Exotic class items. 192 possible unique exotic class items. So if you never want to farm for another one for any reason, whenever things change in the game, then as a endgame player that's a completionist, you're going to save them all, right? Or you're going to start deleting them because you don't have the vault space. It's essentially 4 pages of vault space. I already went over and deleted all my dupes at the beginning of stream. I only had 3, but I've got like 55, 54 unique. Actually, I'm still on Blue Engram Tracker. I have all but 3 Ergo Sums, so I have like 60 Ergo Sums or whatever it is. Exotic class items, 58 out of 64 on Stoicisms for my Titan. 58 unique ones, no dupes. Relativism, 52 out of 64, no dupes. And then Solecism, the Bond, I've only got 39 out of 64. So 40, 90, basically 150 spots are taken up in my vault. 3 pages. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. 3 pages of vault space just for exotic class items without even being close to getting them all. So they need to essentially put it in collections somehow or make it craftable, right? Like, again, it's the same issue. Merge loot together. It shouldn't be so, like, I imagine, like, the processing power it takes too.
Middle bun as the bottom bun on the Big Mac.
Okay, let me reread your comment. I'm not going to read out all of it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, let's just keep it clean, keep it PG. Like, I got kids and family members that watch the stream, and, you know, it's just appropriate. But yeah, so it takes up way too much. And it's just clearly Bungie's not doing anything about it. They haven't talked about anything related to it other than, oh, we can give you some more vault space, right? But I don't really want to rag on the game too much. I want to talk about my pulse rifles next, right? So I realize too, like, I'm responsible. Like, if I get people like being like hateful in chat, then I'm responsible for that to some degree, right? So if I spend too much time being negative about the game, it's just going to spread negativity, and people are already super negative about the game. Like, don't mistake my negativity as like toxic per se. It's like I'm just interested in the criticism, like the constructive way to go about it. So I do tend to like talk about that stuff a lot. I think, like, there's definitely extremely smart people developing this game. They've done a good job. Like, there's no way I would invest my time playing this game if I didn't think it was absolutely stellar. If it wasn't worth my time, I would just not play it. I wouldn't bother with it. But yeah, so other pulse rifles that I have, Sacred Providence. Oh, I do have one. Okay, so I'll bring that over since we were talking about Sacred Providence, especially being good in PvP. Demo and Kinetic Tremors. So I mean, I think that's like the best roll. That's what I would craft on it, right? I think that's the only reason I kept that roll. Yeah, it rolls with Kinetic Tremors and Demo, Rapid Hit, Killing Wind. I think you told me Rapid Hit. Somebody in chat told me Rapid Hit. Killing Wind would be pretty good on it as well, again, for the 50 mobility if you're on Hunter, or if you just like 50 mobility and 40 handling and 20 range, right? So I would put either, I don't know anything about Lone Wolf, but Demo is usually like the most alluring perk to look at, if not pick. It's just held back by the fact that it's a primary weapon, right? So you're not getting that much grenade energy in the grand scheme of things. It's like, how much is it? I can't even remember, 5% or something like that. Or is it 10%? I can't remember, but basically it's not super noticeable. Although I do have Demo and Frenzy on my Rufus's Fury, and I love that thing. But I mainly like go to town with that when I'm stacking it with Unraveling rounds, which you can't do with, but I mean, Kinetic Tremors, right? So Kinetic Tremors could get you a lot of Demo procs. So yeah, Sacred Providence, I will put Demo and, let me transfer that over, right? So that's the one I got. And you can't enhance it because it's a craftable weapon. You can only craft it, right? So this roll is essentially garbage because I can't min-max it. But that's the roll I want on it. Then Vantage Point. So I just got this last stream. So Let's see if I can carry that over. Deconstruct jolting feedback. The role that I had previous, that was stats for all jolting feedback, so I got rid of that, keeping this one. Will enhance, probably, maybe not. The role is only good for niche purposes, but deconstruct does synergize with jolting feedback. It's to be really good on overloads, regardless of season, because it's essentially immune to the artifact for as far as champion mods, because jolting feedback is always going to overload. And then, so to proc jolting feedback, you need to do sustained damage to a target, right? And you can't really miss either, so you need to be like locked onto the target. You need to constantly hit them, like proccing kinetic tremors, but instead it's jolting feedback, right? But deconstruct reloads the mag as you do sustained damage. So as you do the thing that the gun wants you to do to proc jolting feedbacks, it then rewards you with more ammunition. And on top of that, if you got to deal with any constructs or vehicles, like turrets in GMs, for example, like some of the turrets are pretty deadly, like you immediately have to take care of them. So deconstruct could potentially help you there with the 40% buff, right? I mean, it is an absolutely huge damage buff. It's just the situations in which you actually can get it to proc is pretty rare, right? So keep it for a build where you're like, you can make use of it, and then you could, feel good about doing something unique, I guess. But other than that, it's an adaptive frame, legendary, primary ammo weapon. So, I mean, yeah, it's just not good overall, I would say. Unless it's specifically in the artifact, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like adaptive frames personally. I definitely prefer the aggressive bursts, like my blast furnace, and even occasionally the lightweights. Just for hunter stuff, really. But yeah, that's pretty much it for pulse rifles. So I covered 17 auto rifles, hand cannons, pulse rifles. I got rid of essentially nothing. So this vault cleaning was just mostly talking trash about my vault and not really actually taking it out to the trash. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream, but I'm gonna hop off for the night because it's getting pretty late. I appreciate you guys stopping in, and I will catch you all in the next one.